Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the immediate implementation of free health care for low-income retirees under the Contributory Pension Scheme and upward review of pension payment. The president also directed a guaranteed minimum pension for most vulnerable, stressing dignity and protection in retirement as key goals of his administration. Tinubu further tasked the Pension Commission to urgently resolve lingering police pension issues while endorsing reforms to attract diaspora participation in the scheme. In another development, President Tinubu has commiserated with President John Mahama and the people of Ghana following a tragic military helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Defense Minister Edward Omani Boma and Environment Minister Ibrahim Murtala Muhammad and 6 others. He conveyed Nigerians heartfelt condolences, praying for strength for the bereaved families and a peaceful repose for the departed. Tinubu hailed the victims for dying in patriotic services and urged Ghana to find a comfort in their sacrifice. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it will begin a large-scale investigation into Nigeria's real estate industry, starting in the Federal Capital Territory to trace illicit wealth and ownership of suspicious properties. The Commission Chairman Ola Olukayode described the sector as a hotbed for money laundering and fraud and warned dubious developers be prosecuted. He also called for a transparent registry and better regulation, assuring legitimate investors of the agency's support. The Court of Appeal in Lagos State has restored the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's interim forfeiture order on 14 properties linked to Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello, revising a federal high court ruling that earlier struck out the case. The appellate court held that immunity for sitting governors does not cover assets suspected to be proceeds of crime and directed the commission to proceed with a final forfeiture hearing. Bello argued that the properties were bought before he became governor, but the court dismissed his objections as lacking merits. Federal Character Commission has appealed to National Assembly for stronger legislative backing, increased funding to enforce equity and fairness in public service appointment across Nigeria. Acting chairman of the commission, Kayode Oladele, made the appeal during an interactive session with the House Committee on Federal Character in Abuja. Our National Assembly correspondent, Anita Patrick, reports.
At a session with the House Committee on Federal Character, the acting chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Kayode Oladele, emphasized the need for closer collaboration with the National Assembly to ensure equity, inclusiveness, and fairness in governance. He revealed that despite the Commission's mandate to monitor over 700 ministries, departments, and agencies, along with offices in all 36 states and the FCT, it remains hampered by inadequate funding and limited enforcement powers. Oladele said some MDAs and state governments consistently undermine the Commission's efforts by refusing to cooperate or claiming to operate outside its jurisdiction. He is now calling on lawmakers to back amendments to the FCC Establishment Act to grant it greater autonomy, enforcement powers, and digital monitoring capacities.
A lot of things went wrong, which I would not want to say here, but we're in the process of making things right. Then a lot of agencies also we have written to, we asked them to submit their nominal roles, because I told my colleagues here, we had a meeting, I said what we're going to have to be able to ensure equitable and equal representation is to see for ourselves nominal roles of all the agencies.
In response, Chairman of the committee and former Deputy Speaker Idris Wase criticized agencies attempting to bypass or duplicate the Commission's responsibilities. He affirmed that the FCC's powers are rooted in the Constitution and not an act of Parliament.
We are also very unhappy with the interference now, I say interference, of some agencies of government who want to come in and do the job alongside with you. We are not in collaboration, we are not in support of that. The Constitution is very clear, it's a constitutional provision. You are creation of the Constitution, not an act. I'm not belittling the act of Parliament, but whatever law you have anywhere, what you have in the Constitution supersedes.
Wase also revealed that the Education Minister has been summoned over irregular appointments in new institutions where top officials reportedly hail from the same region, violating federal character principles. Annie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
The federal government has expressed its determination to intensify effort at improving sanitation and ending open defecation in the country as part of the nationwide Clean Nigerian campaign. Minister of Power Resources and Sanitation, Prof. Joseph Usef, who led an advocacy visit to the office of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation in Abuja, called for commitment, collaboration, and concrete action. Kabir Hassan has details.
In a bid to achieve the open defecation-free Nigeria by 2025, the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign has continued to engage key institutions and stakeholders. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Talumun Uster, emphasizes the importance of behavioral change and public sector leadership in ending open defecation and promoting proper sanitation habits across ministries, departments, and agencies.
And this is aimed at ending open defecation by the year 2030, and by achieving the Sustainable Development Goal 6.2 on sanitation and hygiene. As of today, we are able to achieve 148 local governments that are open defecation free by integrating the sanitation and hygiene indicators into institutional performance assessment by assessing our performances at the ministry level, departments, and agency level.
The head of Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson Jack, gave assurance of the full support, noting that all public institutions must comply with sanitation standards. She noted that the campaign aligns with the ongoing reform agenda of the civil service and promised that her office will open its doors to continuous collaboration with the ministry.
I want to assure you, Honorable Minister, that not only as a member of the water family, but as someone who is keenly concerned to see that the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign succeeds, you can be rest assured that myself as an individual and my office will give your ministry all the support that we can. We are in full support of the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign, and we join your train of advocacy and sensitization and partnership and collaboration. Count on us any day, anytime.
As federal government rallies institutions toward ending open defecation, with the clock ticking toward the 2025 deadline, the civil service has now thrown its weight behind the Clean Nigerian campaign on a bold step that could flush out open defecation once for all as major boost in national sanitation drive. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, says candidates below 16 years will now face a thorough screening before qualifying for university admission, even if they have exceptional Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination scores. The board registrar, Professor Isaac Olukoyede, Oloyede said that only those who met a strict academic, emotional, and physical benchmark will be considered, citing the need to protect young students from academic abuse. The board has already removed over 38,000 underage candidates from its admission system, with only 599 qualifying for possible screening under new rules. Nigeria and India have agreed to intensify joint action against transnational opioid trafficking, especially the illegal shipment of tramadol and cocaine into West Africa. Chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Buba Marwa, and the Director General of India's Control Bureau, Anurag Garg, made the commitment during a visual meeting pledging enhanced intelligence sharing, technical collaboration and joint training. Both countries acknowledge the growing threat of synthetic drug abuse and vow to disrupt international syndicates exploiting legal trade routes. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has decorated police officers who were recently promoted in recognition of their exceptional service, courage and integrity. The officers were honored for winning National Police Award, including Police Officer of the Year for 2023 and 2024. Security Correspondent Kike Lomo Okeri has more.
Among the decorated are CSP Shaba Aliu, promoted to Assistant Commissioner of Police, and SP Setomi Obi, promoted to Chief Superintendent of Police. Decorating the newly promoted officer, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, says the initiative is part of a broader effort by the Nigerian Police Force to reward excellence, boost morale, and promote meritocracy within the force. He emphasized that recognizing outstanding officers is essential to fostering a culture of professionalism and dedication, which is critical to enhancing public trust and effective policing.
We are not merely decorating officers. We are defining a legacy. This moment marks a deliberate and strategic departure from the shadows of mediocrity. It's a resounding reaffirmation of what we stand for: excellence, integrity, merit, and national pride. We have come to honor men whose stories now serve as institutional case studies in courage and professionalism.
IGP Egbetokun also urged the promoted officers to continue upholding the highest standards of discipline to serve as the role model for their colleagues. He noted that their exemplary conduct and achievements set the tone for others and contribute positive to the overall mission of the police force in safeguarding the nation's security.
The process that led to their emergence was deliberately rigorous, grounded in objectivity and insulated from influence. It was a process designed to sift not just for performance, but for character. And they rose to the top, not by accident, not by favor, but by merit. Let every officer here take note.
IGP reiterated the force's commitment to continuous capacity and ensuring that hard work and integrity are duly rewarded at all levels. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army have rescued kidnapped victims abducted along the Chinkai-Kante-Wukari Road in Taraba State. The victims were freed during a coordinated offensive in Chinkai Forest and Owedi community after the kidnappers fled under sustained military pressure. Brigade Commander Brigadier General Kingsley Uwa hailed the operation as a major success and reaffirmed the Army's commitment to combating kidnapping and securing the region. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When the Midday News returned, President Tinubu approves 1.5 trillion naira recapitalization for Bank of Agriculture. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories of the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. And in business news, President Bola Tinubu has approved the capitalization of the Bank of Agriculture with 1.5 trillion naira. A statement issued by the Ministry of Agriculture says the approval marks the most significant boost to agricultural finance in Nigeria's history. This came as the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, disclosed in a statement that the implementation of the National Agricultural Technology and Innovation Policy will accelerate Nigeria's agricultural ecosystem. In a bold move to empower Nigerians youth, the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation to make consumer credit more accessible to young Nigerians. Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Muhammad Abubakar, says the signing of the document marks a new chapter in the financial inclusion for the country's working population. Ubong Usoro was there for Global Television.
Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation Credit Corps is a federal government development finance institution on a mission to democratize consumer credit. Through this partnership with NYSC, core members and other young Nigerians will now have better access to loans and financial support designed to help them build their futures. The Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Mohammed, says the MOU signifies commitments to improving the welfare of core members by facilitating their access to vital financial resources needed to succeed during and after their service.
It's safer to buy with your credit card because even if your credit card gets compromised, you are not losing money. Unlike your debit card, once you tap and they pick your debit card, whatever is out of your account is gone. But of course, your credit card, you can easily.
The chairman, Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, says the collaboration opens new doors for core members to access affordable credit to start businesses and meet personal needs during and after their service year. He noted that the goal is to reach underserved Nigerians and partner with NYSC to deliver tailored consumer credit solutions directly to young people across the nation.
Specific consumer credits for youth core members. And at the heart of youth credit is actually not just credit, but credit orientation. That is teaching young Nigerians, especially as they are coming into the workforce, teaching them good credit habits, teaching them how to build a credit history, teaching them how to plan financially and borrow responsibly.
This partnership between Credit Corps and NYSC is expected to boost youth entrepreneurship and financial inclusion nationwide. Ubong Usoro for Global TV.
On the foreign scene, a Uganda student has been sentenced to 2 months in prison over a TikTok post critical of President Yoweri Museveni, sparking renewed concern over free speech. Police say the video, which featured doctored footage of the parliament speaker, was designed to incite a hostility against top officials ahead of the next year election. Rights groups have condemned the move, warning it reflects a shrinking civic space under Museve's 40-year rule. Carol Ngorkrok, a nationalist historian backed by United States President Donald Trump, has been sworn in as a Poland president, marking a significant shift from the country's previous centrist pre-European government. Uyi Agbomefugbi has the story.
At just 42 years old, Karol Nawrocki becomes Poland's youngest head of state in recent decades. He clinched a narrow victory over Liberal candidate Rafał Trzaskowski in the June election, securing just over 50% of the vote. In his inaugural address at Warsaw's Parliament building, Nawrocki promised to champion a constitutional overhaul aimed at protecting Polish sovereignty. He also issued a strong warning against what he called increasing interference from Brussels and the European Union.
Obejmując z woli narodu Urząd Prezydenta Rzeczypospolitej Polskiej.
Obejmując z woli narodu Urząd Prezydenta Rzeczypospolitej Polskiej.
Nawrocki's inauguration signals a pivotal moment in Poland's politics, while he supports NATO's eastern flank and vows to maintain ties with allies. His presidency sets the stage for confrontation with the Tusk government over democratic norms, EU integration, and control of Poland's historical narrative. Uyi Agbumofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
Ghana is in mourning following a tragic military helicopter crash that claimed the lives of the country's defense minister, Dr. Edward Omani Boma, and Environment Minister Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, alongside 6 others. The chopper en route to Obuasi lost a radar contract shortly after takeoff and went down in the Adnan's Akromufum area.
I have the unpleasant duty, sadly, to announce a national tragedy involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning around the Adansi area in Ashanti region. Government regrets to announce the demise of the following persons in the tragic crash: Dr. Edward Kofi Omani Boama, Minister for Defense; Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology.
President Nana Akufo-Addo has declared a national day of mourning as investigation into the cause of the crash are underway. In Cameroon, a leading opposition figure has been disqualified from the upcoming presidential election. The decision by the Constitutional Council is sparking outrage among political observers and rights advocates. Mukhtar Kasim has the reports.
Maurice Kamto, who finished second in the 2018 presidential race, has been officially barred from contesting the 2025 elections in Cameroon. He had planned to run under the African Movement for New Independence and Democracy, MANIDEM, after leaving the Cameroon Renaissance movement. But the Constitutional Council says his candidacy is invalid because MANIDEM, like his former party, holds no elected seat in parliament or local government. The court admitted Kamto's appeal, but ruled it had no merit. Another MANIDEM aspirant was also disqualified, a MOVE party leader, Enit Ekane, described as politically motivated. So far, 13 candidates, including long-term President Paul Biya, have been cleared to run. Also on the list are opposition voices like Cabral Libi and Joshua Osi. Over 80 people had initially declared interest in the race. Access to the council's full ruling was restricted, and Kamto is yet to issue a public response. With elections slated for October, concerns around fairness and political inclusivity continue to grow, raising doubts over the credibility of the process. Mukhtar Kasim, reporting for Global Television News.
And in sports, former Bayern Munich star Thomas Müller has signed with Major League Soccer side Vancouver Whitecaps for the rest of the 2025 season, ending a 25-year spell with the German giant. The 35-year-old forward could be upgraded to a designated player in 2026, allowing Vancouver to exceed salary caps. The deal includes transfer condition with FC Cincinnati and is pending visa approval and international certificates. Matthew Kuti is now Nigeria's second highest ranked male table tennis player, rising to 194th in the world after his win at the West African Championship. He earned 89 total points across multiple events, while Olajide Omotayo dropped to 198 following a poor run. Meanwhile, Kadri Haruna has claimed his position as African top player, jumping to 21st globally despite recent inactivity. Houston Rockets guard Jos Okogie has arrived in Nigeria's D Tigers camp ahead of AfroBasket 2025 as the team intensifies preparation for the tournaments in Angola. The 26-year-old NBA star brings valuable international experience and last featured for Nigeria in the 2023 World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria opens its group stage against Madagascar on August 13, followed by the clashes with Tunisia and Cameroon. That's it on Global TV Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.